button, and we've started. Um, Today is Tuesday, April 24th, 2012, and we are interviewing Willie Lee Brown at the Illinois State Library. Willie Lee Brown is 65 years old. He was born May 30th, 1946. My name is Gwen Harrison, and I'll be the interviewer. Um, Willie Lee Brown, could you state for the recording what war and branch of service you served in?
United States Army, Vietnam,
And what was your rank?
PFC E3,
Okay, and where did you serve?
South Vietnam, Mekong Delta region.
Okay, and what was your job assignment?
Classified documents, records management specialist.
Oh, almost like a librarian.
Kinda. Just a little more attention to it.
Okay. Did you see combat?
No.
Okay. Were there any casualties in your unit?
Yes.
Okay. Did you sustain any injuries?
No physical injuries.
Okay, good answer. Were you a prisoner of war?
No.
Alrighty. Do you want to share any of your experiences as, oh, wait a minute. You weren't in captivity and you weren't freed. So that doesn't, sorry, I messed that one up.
Okay.
Okay. Were you awarded any medals or citations?
Yes. Vietnam Service Medal, Good Conduct Service Medal, National Defense Service Medal,
Okay.
and our unit was awarded the Vietnamese Cross of Gallantry.
Okay.
That's a unit citation. Individuals don't get to wear those. It
Okay.
goes to the headquarters of your unit.
Okay. And what did you do to get them? How did you?
We flew air combat surveillance.
Okay.
Was our mission. It was the 73rd Combat Surveillance Company,
Okay.
and we just flew surveillance mission for the other troops who were actually engaged in the physical fighting part.
Okay. Can you share any battle planning with us?
Planning. By planning, how do you mean?
I'm not sure what it means. The last guy said that he was either in front of the battle or in back of it. That was his duty. He drove a tractor. And so so he said he really wasn't privy to that, you know. So
Okay.
I don't know how, you
Well,
know.
in the situation in Vietnam, there was no front or no back.
Mhm.
Wherever you were, and that's
That's
where it
where
went
it was
down
at.
at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there was no front line or behind the line situation.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
in that respect, it wasn't.
Okay.
But there was no real plan.
Okay.
Just try to stay alive.
Yes. Wow.
Our unit, most of the things in our unit was classified.
Okay.
If we left the base, we couldn't wear military uniforms.
Okay.
We had to wear civilian clothes.
Okay.
And when we did wear military uniforms on the base, we couldn't wear identifying information on our uniform.
Okay.
Tags, name tags, unit designation,
Mhm.
or anything like that, just a plain uniform.
Okay. And that was because of the nature of your job.
The nature of the unit.
The unit. Okay. Okay. How did you get along with the officers and fellow soldiers?
I got along well with my officers and things.
Okay. All righty. Did you feel pressure, stress, or anxiety?
Yeah, because we worked a 16-hour day for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
and due to the nature of classified information, we had to be contained.
Mm-hmm.
So we were inside of these big trailer-like units,
Mm-hmm.
and they were all closed in. You couldn't have windows open.
Mm-hmm.
You had guards posted at the doors,
Mm-hmm.
and the air conditioning didn't work, of course.
Mm.
It's 140 degrees outside. We're boiling inside.
Mm.
So, and that was a lot of pressure, 16-hour days.
Sure.
Very seldom did we get like a full day
Okay.
that we could just lay around the hooch or maybe go downtown into the village or something like that.
Mhm.
Very seldom, but we did.
Okay. Did you keep a personal diary?
I wrote a lot of things. I started writing poems is what I started doing.
Okay.
And they were kind of abstract things. Once I looked at them when I got back home, they were kind of crazy. But my daughter's got them somewhere.
Does she?
Hid away. Yeah.
All righty. Yeah, okay. She's your archivist.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about a couple of your most memorable experiences?
Happy or sad?
That's up to you.
I guess the thing I remember most is watching the Vietnamese monks who were against our presence in Vietnam
Mhm.
would sit out in the square or something like that and just pour gasoline on themselves and set themselves on fire.
Mm.
That was the odor. Yeah, I can smell that odor now,
Mhm.
flesh burning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's not very pleasant.
Mm-mm. Mm.
That would be the most. And being under fire, I guess that would be the next most terrible thing.
Mhm.
So,
Were you able to stay in touch with your family?
no.
Okay, all righty. Did you do or have something special for good luck?
Hmm. No, I didn't.
Okay,
No.
okay,
Yeah.
all righty. Did you have plenty of supplies?
You mean personal or?
Whatever you needed to survive. I mean,
Yes, we were
Did you?
supplied very well.
okay,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good to hear. What was the food like?
Oh God. Well, the steak tastes like shoe leather.
Wow.
They called it steak, but we knew it was water buffalo. It
Okay,
wasn't any steak.
okay,
But the gravy was good.
okay.
Yeah, you know. And other than that, the other food was good. It was rice,
Mhm.
stuff like that.
Okay,
I don't remember corn though. Remember vegetables, but no corn.
okay.
And rice and this imitation steak that we used to eat
The water.
or chew on anyway.
Chew on. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty. We're gonna go to R&R now. How did you entertain yourself?
I went to Bangkok, Thailand
Okay.
for R&R.
Okay. And were there any entertainers that came to see your units?
Not my unit in particular, but it was a USO show. Yeah, that was at my unit. Nancy Sinatra came and did a
Did
show
she?
for our
Okay.
unit.
Okay. What did you do when you were on leave?
You don't have leave. You mean from Vietnam?
It just says, what did you do when on leave? I guess you didn't get leave.
You don't get to leave from a combat area.
Okay.
But in the States, when I was stationed in the States,
Mhm.
when I had to leave, I just
Mhm.
went home, visit the wife and kids.
Okay. Okay. Did you travel while in the service?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right. Where did you go?
Let's see. Fort Hood, Texas.
Okay.
Fort Ben Harrison, Indianapolis, Indiana. What was that other base? Can't think of it. It's artillery base up in Munster, Indiana, but I can't remember the name of it now.
Okay.
It was a Hercules unit. It was an old unit, but
Okay.
I can't remember the name of it. That was when I was returning home from Vietnam, so I don't remember a whole lot of stuff when I first got back.
Okay.
Actually, I don't remember coming back, to tell you the truth. It was because arriving in country is when we arrived under fire. At least I did anyway, and
Mhm.
most of the people on the plane with me. But with my particular MOS, they didn't issue me a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So the firefight is going on and everybody is shooting except me.
Wow.
You know, so that was kind of really frightening.
Yes.
And the only people they were issuing weapons to were guys that were going straight to a field unit that was
Okay.
already engaging the enemy.
Okay.
And since I was going to a non-field unit,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't issue me a weapon. So
Mm.
that was arriving and coming back home was pretty frightening for me. So
Okay.
when I got back and got stationed at that unit in Munster, I don't remember the designation of the company
Okay.
because I was only going to be there a couple of weeks, so I
Okay.
didn't really remember.
Okay.
what the name of it was.
Um, do you recall any humorous or unusual events, particular humorous or unusual events? Um,
In country or just in general?
in general, in country, however you want to answer it.
I'm not going to mention that one. Well, I guess I can. On our air base, we had some Australians. The Royal Australian Air Force was on the base with us.
Okay.
And they were about to be overrun one time, and a couple of our pilots were flying missions and detected the enemy, and we notified them. And they got together with some American units and fought the enemy down. And after that, they brought us a jukebox from the United States. They brought us a plane load of Budweiser beer. And in 1967, they brought us all of the top 40 45s to go on our jukebox.
I love it.
And so we drank so much beer the first night, I went to sleep, and my cohorts decided they would place me in the dumpster out by the mess hall. And so when I wake up hearing reveille.
Oh.
And I stick my head out and I'm in the dumpster. And you know, they're out there laughing, they're in formation laughing. So I'm called AWOL because I'm not in formation.
Sure.
So that was about the most comical.
Oh.
The top sergeant didn't give me any real repercussions about it though. He thought it was funny at the time.
Okay.
Which I did too, but they knew they shouldn't have did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty humorous. Okay. So you already told me you didn't have any photos, that your daughter has all your photos.
She has all of that.
Okay. Do you recall the day your service ended?
No.
Okay. Do you know where you were at?
In Munster, Indiana.
Okay. Did the war come to an end, or had you fulfilled your military service?
I fulfilled my military service.
All right. Were others discharged with you?
Not from the unit that I was actually assigned to when I came back from Vietnam.
Okay.
But there were others who were returning home at the same time that I was returning home.
Okay.
But they didn't go to the same. We didn't go to the same units to get our final out processing papers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you do in the days and weeks after your duty to this country was fulfilled?
Look
Did you
for a
resume
job.
a job? Yep, did you start a new career?
Look for a job and went back to school.
There you go. Did you use the GI Bill to get your education?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Okay.
Almost 3 years of college. I finally had to drop out. Wife and 4 kids. It just wasn't convenient to try to go to complete an engineering degree and take care of wife and 4 kids. So
Okay.
I went to night school about 6-7 years. But only got partially through my 3rd year.
Okay.
And just had to let it go.
Okay.
And I did end up working in the field that I wanted to work in, which was civil engineering.
Okay.
And after working in the field for 30 years, it didn't do me any good to go back to school because I was making more than the engineers were making anyway.
Right.
So I just settled for what I was doing.
Okay.
Although I wouldn't mind having the engineering degree just to have it.
Sure.
Didn't get it.
Okay. Okay. Did you make any close friendships while in the service?
Actually, yes, but we're not in touch.
Okay.
Vietnam, you really didn't make friends.
Okay.
You became attached, but you didn't make friends because you didn't know if that person was coming back or if you'd see him or not. So it was a harder burden if you were just real good friends and he went out one day and didn't make it.
Sure.
And you got that grief you got to deal with.
Right.
You know.
Right. Right.
I mean, you know you have to stick together.
Sure.
To try to make it home.
Right.
But to just let that person get into you where it's gonna impair your ability
Mm-hmm.
to get yourself home and
Right.
watch for your other comrades.
Right.
You just didn't form those type of relationships.
Okay.
Or at least I didn't, and most of the people I know did not.
Okay. Alrighty. Do you attend reunions?
We don't have any.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
you come back and you're just glad you're back.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, So
Did you join a veterans organization?
since I've been living in Illinois,
Okay.
joined the American Legion and the Disabled American Veterans Association.
Okay. Okay. What kinds of activities does your post or association have?
We have fundraisers. We have charity events.
Okay.
We sponsor activities for the public as well as for the veterans who
Okay.
belong to our organization and some other inner veterans organization activities that we participate in. We have honor guards at funerals for
Okay.
veterans and things like that.
Okay.
We do parades
Mhm.
and things like that. That's it in a nutshell.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're getting down to the end of this interview. How has your service and experiences affected your life?
Uh, hmm. I don't. That's a hard one.
Okay.
Affected my life. Just living with the PTSD and trying to cope with that is something that doesn't let you really settle down a
Sure.
lot. You know,
Sure.
I mean, you try to keep your feet planted.
Sure.
You know, with nightmares and things bother you. So
Sure.
I can't say that I don't want to consider it a negative effect,
Mm-hmm.
even though it is negative,
Sure.
because I volunteered to do what I did, you know, and I felt okay about doing that.
Sure.
It's just one of the things that we have to suffer with when we come home.
Sure.
But the Veterans Administration is taking care of me in that respect.
Okay.
So I don't have any complaints about it.
Okay.
You know.
Excuse me. Okay. Did your military experience influence your thinking about war or military in general? Has your military experience influenced your thinking about war or military in general?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
As relates to Vietnam, I couldn't see the real reason why we should have been there, but I wasn't in the position of Army commanders or generals and things to know what was best. But
Okay.
so in that respect, it changed my thinking because if you got to go and do it, you need to know why you really have to do it,
Sure.
as opposed to just following orders,
Mhm.
which we do. But it would help if you knew a lot more
Mhm.
about.
The why.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it would have helped me a lot more.
Sure.
You know,
Sure. Sure.
I mean, I wasn't going to run away from my duty, but
Right.
it just would have settled you down more. It would have.
Right. Right.
It might have made you be a better person at what you were doing if you knew a little bit
The
more.
why.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
I hope we can hurry up and get all the rest of our troops home and get them out of harm's way. You know, get them back united with their families and stuff.
I agree. Well, Mr. Brown, this concludes this interview. I'd like to thank you for doing this interview, and I'd like to thank you for your service to our country. And this was good.
Okay, thank
This
you.
was good. Okay, I'm going to stop this recording.